What is up, What is up, FSClub? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the top 10 confirmed features for Farming Simulator 22 on consoles. We have exactly 60 days left till its release, which is actually 8 weeks. Farming Simulator 22 comes out on November 22nd and brings with it a lot of changes. Farming Simulator 22 has the most new features I have ever seen in a new Farming Simulator game. It is a big leap going from Farming Simulator 19 to Farming Simulator 22. Well, let's get into those top 10 confirmed features. Here we go. So, number 10 would have to be new crops and new maps. Had to put these together. For one, didn't want the video to be the top 11 features. Doesn't really sound too good. Two, I think they should go together. First, let's take a look at the new maps. On Farming Simulator 22, there will be 3 maps. One will be an updated version of Farming Simulator 17, which is Erlengrad. The first new one, will be a Midwestern-based map called Elm Creek. Elm Creek is inspired by the US Midwest region and offers large fields and vast open space to build our farms on. There will be plenty of fields with varying shapes and sizes. There will be rivers cleaving their way through the terrain, underpasses in hilly areas, even a gushing waterfall, and a proper US highway. Map is going to remind you of a small Midwestern town. It's going to have the out-of-town gas station, huge grain silos, and even an Elm Creek baseball stadium, which I actually hope we can cut the grass there. That'd be kind of cool, like a contract right there. Now, the second map is called Hout Baron, which I probably just said the name wrong, which this will be completely different than Elm Creek, as this map is based in France, mostly a Mediterranean map. There is beautiful hillsides with plenty of views and numerous selling points on the map. In the center of the map, you'll notice a huge castle. There is gondolas floating on the river, and an observatory which actually opens its dome at sundown to align its telescope with the stars. That's actually going to be pretty cool. So, that is the 3 new maps. Now let's get into the new crops that will go good with these maps in Farming Simulator 22. In Farming Simulator 22, there is 3 new crops, which are olives, grapes, and sorghum. Grapes and olives is going to fit good in with the French map perfectly. Grapes and olives use special machines to plant and harvest and spray. A lot of new equipment right there, which we will be getting into later on. You'll be building rows and rows and rows of them, so vineyards. Then the last crop is sorghum, which we have seen on Farming Simulator 19, like on maps like American Life of Farming. Well, now it will be in the base game of Farming Simulator 22. Sorghum is going to go good with the new map, Elm Creek. Number 9 would have to be character customization. In Farming Simulator 22, character customization takes a whole new level. Well, there really wasn't a character creator in Farming Simulator 19. They've added a lot of new features and items to it. Choose your own character, hairstyle, beards. What I've seen from the beards, though, doesn't look like there's any big ones, so hopefully they do add that to it. Also, mustaches, outfits, tops, bottoms, footwear, headgear, gloves, and glasses. I'm definitely going to be having my character in a hoodie. You can also wear your favorite brands. They have the likes of John Deere, Case, Fendt, Mossy, Vulture, and more. Also, if you want to change your clothes and your haircuts, just go back to the farmhouse and you can change it in the wardrobe. Number 8 would have to be new brands and new categories for Farming Simulator 22. New brands, so far we have had Mack, Kinsey Planters, Rudolph Trailers, Farzin, Bonsilage, McCormick, Versatile, Schaefer, Gesner, Planet ET BGA, Convey All, Nordiston, K&S Fertilizer, and Welger, and they're still adding more and more every single day, and they aren't done yet. Also, have some new machine categories like mulchers and vineyards to go with Farming Simulator 22. Number 7 is graphic updates, which includes how different the game looks. As you can see, all the menus and overlays are now in blue, new particle effects, more 3-dimension, harvester intake more realistic. PDA actually shows all the vehicles on the map, even when you're in multiplayer. Also on the map have 3D interiors, and the menu is now vertical tabs instead of horizontal tabs, which we all been using for a while now. Number 6 is the new build mode. Farming Simulator 22 features a brand new and improved build mode combining landscape and the placement of buildings. They have completely overhauled the construction system from Farming Simulator 19. You can now quickly switch between placing buildings and objects, landscaping, and removing objects. As for landscaping and sculpting, they added new tools to edit our terrain. Also, the new build mode is how you get grapes and olives to be planted. So if you want to build a vineyard, you have to open up the build menu and stripe your fields with vines. Also, putting down fences is completely different too. It's similar to vines, you just put down a pole and pull the fence to create it. There are 10 different types of fences plus gates. There is also 5 categories in the build mode. First one is building, which are split further into sheds, silos, which we now have an auger system with the silos, silo extensions, containers, and tools. Second category is production, which contains all the buildings needed to start your production chains, which we'll be talking about later. There are factory, selling points, greenhouses, orchards, and generators. The third category is animals, which contains all the pins for your animals in different shapes, sizes, and some additional functions. Fourth category is decorations, which contains fences, streetlights, and more. And then the last category is landscaping, which contains landscaping tools for sculpting, painting trees, and plants. Number 5 is seasons. Seasons will now be in the base game of Farming Simulator 22, so get ready for spring, summer, fall, and winter. Seasons is different than what we are used to in Farming Simulator 19. In Farming Simulator 22, seasons, you will see a lot of visual changes throughout the seasons. The tint of the trees, grass, and bushes now change with the seasons. Nature will look more natural now, reflections on water. There is even deer too. Since each season comes with its own characteristics, the atmosphere changes quite a bit throughout the year. In spring, trees start to grow their leaves in vibrant color, and in summer they mature into lush green trees. In fall, color palette changes, the atmosphere turns a bit darker before everything is covered in snow when winter comes around. Seasons is also not just a visual thing, unless you want it to be. In this case, you can deactivate seasonal growth so you can plant and harvest your crops independently of the season. The seasons in-game are divided into months. A year consists of 12 days, meaning each game is the equivalent of a month. Using the timescale control, it is up to you how fast the days pass. Basically, a season can range from half an hour to a very long weekend. You can also turn off snow if you don't want it. Also coming with seasons is seasonal cycles. You'll have to look at the new crop calendar of when to plant and when to harvest, and also of when to sell your crops. Number 4 is sounds and gearboxes. Farming Simulator 22 will feature various sound improvements. Vehicle sounds will now transform in real time to the in-game environment, making sounds more realistic. The main new feature is the implementation of dynamic load processing. Whether you drive a tractor under a huge load or drive uphill, the engine will sound more authentic. Also, new attachment audio system. The unloading of a trailer with the rear lid opening, hydraulic parts moving around, and the metal impact where metal on metal creates a heavy sound. Every attachment will have its own individual set of sound effects. There is also new sounds inside the cabin. You will hear the shaking and rattling sounds from all the objects inside the cabin. That includes the sound of windshield wipers. Also in Farming Simulator 22, there will be gearboxes and gearbox sounds. Number 3 is better slot usage. Farming Simulator 22 on consoles will have better slot usage. We don't know much about this yet, but any upgrade from Farming Simulator 19 slots will be a good thing. So far, what we do know of this though, is if you are in the next gen systems, you will have a higher slot count. Hopefully getting closer to Farming Simulator 22, we will find out more about this. Number 2 is production change. For a long time, us console players have watched PC players have all these amazing factory mods. Well, now we also get to have some factories too. With factories, you can either use one that's on the map or one that you build. So instead of selling your wheat after harvesting, you can transport it to the mill to be made into flour. Then deliver it to the bakery and you have the option to produce bread or cake. Most production plants have multiple production chains available with varying inputs and outputs. They are listed as recipes. At the production plants, you can also store ingredients. This rather complex production chain requires you to deliver a lot of ingredients which need to be harvested or even produced themselves. After production, you have several options on how to sell it. Either production plant sells it automatically right away and takes it off your hands, or generate a pallet you can move yourself. In most cases, you have the choice to sell the goods. And then the number 1 has to be crossplay. Farming Simulator 22 will have crossplay between consoles and PC and Stadia. Anyways though, how many people can play together? If the server host is hosting from a PC, up to 16 players are possible, including players on console. If you're using a game console to host the server, up to 6 players are possible in total. So, also, can console players rent and host servers? Yes, console players can rent and host their own servers via Nitrado and other server providers too, just like PC players. Can you deactivate crossplay? Yes, you can. So if you do not want to play with PC players, or PC players don't want to play with console players, you can actually deactivate that. Is cross-saving possible? No. Only the host is saving the progress just like it is right now. How will DLC and mods affect crossplay? Every player has to have the same content, DLC and/or mods installed as the server host. Otherwise, players will be missing content that cannot join the server. Console users can only join servers with mods that are available through the official mod hub on consoles. So basically you have to have the same mods as other consoles. So if you're playing with PS4 players or PS5 players and you're on Xbox, you have to have the same mods as them. Same thing as PC players. PC players can only have, console, well, all platform mods. Also, how will slots affect cross-platform play? The hosting platform is setting the initial limit of available slots, determining the maximum number of machines, tools, etc. on the server. If a player with fewer slots available on his platform is joining the game, he will set the new slot limit for everyone based on the platform. If a server has already more slots occupied than supported by the platform, joining the server won't be possible. Since old gen and current gen consoles differ in terms of available slots, console players have to keep in mind the slot count when playing with friends using a console from a different hardware generation. And then the last one, how does voice chat, text chat work? Farming Simulator 22 supports cross-platform voice and text chat. Text chat input, though, is only possible on PC. Console players can read the text chat, and that is it. Okay, so that is the top 10 list, well, at least in my opinion. Let me know if you guys would have switched anything around. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys would have changed on that. But I am very, very excited for Farming Simulator 22. It looks really good. Remember, it comes out November 22nd. Also, if you are on PC and you're interested in actually pre-ordering it, I have the club's affiliate link down in the description. Doesn't charge anything extra or anything like that. It just helps out the club a little bit. Well, anyways, I hope you guys did pound that like button and lets me know that you guys like videos like this. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys do hit that sub and ring that bell. We post videos on this channel every single day. Well, have an amazing day, farmers. Peace.
The city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about.